What is going on YouTube? This is Acid Root. So I'm going to review the debut album by Junior Mafia, who is basically Notorious B.I.G.'s collective group as far as this fair is going to happen. Basically this album, this project is called Conspiracy, and it came out in the summer of 1995. So the particular pitch about this product is this is like a pseudo spin-off of like Ready to Die from like the late summer of 1994. Biggie particularly started to catch on in like early 95 just within the pitch between hit singles like Juicy and One More Chance remix, some of those type fairs, and some of the R&B songs he was popping up on, some of those particular aspects. Biggie was starting to become larger than life around. Biggie was starting to appropriately become larger than life within like the spring and summer of 1995, just getting hit record after the other, and this is a great way to capitalize on that particular buzz. Now Biggie is not on this particular album a ton of times. He's only on here 4 times out of the 10 songs on here, but still an excellent type pitch because Junior Mafia handles some pretty good songs on here within the pitch behind it. It introduces a few folks. Some of these folks have a little bit more notoriety that continue to stick around. Obviously Lil Kim is one of which. He's probably like the second banana in terms of the notoriety on this project, and then Lil C's is one who was almost attempted. He never really got to get he's like the male wingman of Notorious B.I.G., but he never really got to catch on as far as being able to put out products and really getting his career full blown started because Biggie passed before like he was able to promote him getting to an album. Now Lil C's at least has dropped an album, but it's just from the pitch that it just was not like it. Probably needed Biggie's executive production fairs like that. It's not to say that it wasn't good, but it's just from the fair. So Lil Kim was a good asset to be able to have on this particular product. Some excellent type fair to be able to get this here. This is a pretty superb type album. I actually enjoyed this particular album more than I enjoyed Ready to Die. So I'm actually going to give this particular album a higher score than I gave Ready to Die back in December when I reviewed it. And that particular review came out in February. But I just looked within the pitch here as far as particularly being able to say the aspects. The aspects behind this product is this is like this is like a spin-off to Ready to Die, has the same sort of fashion, especially in the singles, I would say, within the pitch. Particularly some thematic type styles similar to like Juicy, One More Chance, either version, the remix or the original, and like songs like Everyday Struggle and probably Warning, some of those type ones. Takes a lot of templates of that particular style, and this puts in like a good spin-off type style to have like a consistent cousin that, and just does with the excellence behind it. I remember seeing in a Biggie interview back in the day that he said that Biggie particularly felt like even if you don't like this album, it's definitely better than the 3.5 stars out of 5 as far as what's going to happen. It's probably floating around in some sort of interview within the pitch. I don't know what happened to it, but particularly this album is way better than that. It's way better than 3.5 stars out of 5. Like, I'm going to go ahead and say that out of the 10 songs on this particular album, I'll end up recommending 9 of them. So this album's going to get a 9.75 within the pitch. Once again, I do feel like I probably like Life After Death, the double album, a little bit more because Biggie definitely knocked that one out of the park. But this is pretty damn close to like a classic, and I might as well say it's not like a 9.75 isn't a classic within the pitch. This is very underappreciated, just not as commonly talked about. You know, you get enough folks to kind of say and stuff like Ready to Die is a notable type album just within the pitch, not seminal 90s album, but this particular album doesn't really get the same sort of appeal. It's just kind of the concept. This is a great aspect to something when once you get tired of Ready to Die and some of those type pitches, and whether or not just the full bound paying attention to like the full bound paying attention to like Life After Death within some of these type pitches. Despite the fact that Biggie is not on every single one of these songs on here, it has some good aspects. A lot of this is pretty aspect to like the tone of just being like something within the Biggie mold. This particular Conspiracy album is just something within the Biggie mold that continues that particular style that he had within the vision of it. And on top of that, this is something that was realized within Biggie's lifetime. So it's not as if it was posthumous, something like that, where it didn't have his actual kind of executive production and contemplation about this. Is actually something that he saw to the completion, was able to say this is exactly how he would have wanted it with the execution of it happening as to how it was going to with the way he wanted. This is a good type pitch. It doesn't have as much Puff Daddy on here with the pitch. I don't think this was as much full bound produced by Puff Daddy, but Biggie does executive produce this, and Biggie's manager Lance Rivera also helps out with this as well. Has some of those type fairs. DJ Clark Kent is on here, who's kind of a Biggie affiliate. Some of those type folks. It is kind of like a spin-off type fair. Does it have DJ Premier on here? Does it have DJ Premier on here and some folks like that, like Chucky Thompson, some of those particular type folks, the folks that produce like Big Papa and some of those type ones? Not exactly, but it does have some pretty emphatic type ones. The singles are very boisterous. All these are pretty attention grabbing just from the pitch behind it. Just continues that particular style. It's just basically like getting a mini kind of Ready to Die in terms of it. Even though I like this album better, it's just from the pitch in terms of the impact. This is a very good stopgap. I just would say it's a good look for folks that just when you're obsessed with Biggie, some of those type fairs, so this is a good notation to be able to say that this is something that pretty much had the plate full in terms of your appetite as far as something until the next Biggie project would have happened had things not have been sabotaged. But I look after it, It is too bad that Puff Daddy didn't help out with this product too. It's just kind of the concept would have been a good aspect. I definitely think Puff Daddy probably should have helped with it. It's not as if that's a full-bound dismantlement, but it's just kind of the concept as far as saying that the classic Biggie Puffy kind of team just didn't happen as full-bound on here. But still within the pitch, the three singles are very excellent. So Play His Anthem is the first single. It's a real nice one here. It's like a nice luncheon kind of NY occasion, I'd have to say. It's a Ready to Die kind of group song. I would feel like within the pitch, it has similarities like the Ready to Die album, just in more like this is like a Biggie song off of like 94 within the pitch. This particular song just has Biggie from 1994 vibes, just with two extra folks on there, which would be Lil Kim and Lil C's. This is like some good work shift on one as far as this pitch kind of have. So it just feels like some steamy kind of hotel music pitches like that, just an enjoyment of it, just the factor of loosening up a bit after like the standard fare. Kind of a commotional type song just within the pitch, a little bit more social pizzazz about it just within concept, but probably feels like something to like I would say 5:15, 5:45 is like the festivities are starting to start. The initial kind of chit chat and just banter within the aspects of how that particular fair can have the festivities and just to show up and getting the hors d'oeuvres and appetizers, some of those type pitches. Initial champagne being popped and initial few drinks in those type fairs within the moments. It's a great work shift on one. It's kind of a concept. This is like a good mingle type song. I just really like the appeal behind this. It's a good aspect to be able to get this here, just a concept when you think of the singles off of Ready to Die, which would have been Juicy, uh, Big Papa, and then like One More Chance. All of those particular type ones were just within the aspect. Juicy is just kind of a day hop type one, more standard hustle type fare. Big Papa is kind of like a nightclub kind of dance club bounce, and then one more chance. The remix at least was just kind of like a makeshift kind of just typical kind of fare within the city hop and fashion, just very dramatic type one. But this particular one's just a little bit more mingle, a little bit more lighthearted within pitch. It's really something. Probably, I mean, this could easily have been like a leftover from Ready to Die. It's this good type pitch. But yeah, all three of the rappers do good on here. Good introduction to Lil Kim and Lil C's. Biggie melds on this song pretty well. Biggie melds on this song pretty well. I Need You Tonight is the second single. Now the original, there's one variation of this particular song that has Aaliyah on the hook, which is a pretty awesome concept. But the different one I want to say has like Faith Evans or something like that. Not as full bound. Yeah, it's Faith Evans on the album version, but the single version has Leah on there. Either way, it's pretty good within the pitch. Just a wicked type one. It's a wicked type one to be able to get. This very uncommon type second single needs more appreciation than it got. It's like a nice secret kind of mini sequel to One More Chance remix. I'd have to say here, this particular song definitely needed a Biggie verse as far as what's first gonna happen. Now I realize the point of why Biggie was not on this song was just to recalibrate, or I realize the point as to why Biggie was not on this song is just put like the Lil Kim in the spotlight and showcase the fact that she can stand on her own as far as having like the ability to do it and having like the volition of having like the impact of being able to handle like a single by herself. It's just kind of the concept. This particular vibes is just very much, it's just like the same product, same sort of night that you would listen to the One More Chance remix, considering that that was dominating that particular summer of 95 just from the pitch of getting like a further aspect of something within the same vein behind it. I just think if Biggie had been on this particular song, it probably would have been like a second help into that particular song, and this would have been another Dynamite type one where it just would have been that same sort of fashion. This could have been an easy win, but it's just kind of would have kind of just been like an easy win. But it's just been the concept of having Lil Kim and a couple act. There's another folk on this particular song. There's another Junior Mafia member who I'm not as full blown sure about as far as within the pitch. There's some other Junior Mafia members on this particular song who I'm not as full blown sure as to the pitch of who they are, but some excellent aspects to be able to say definite dope songs, good unleashing of this particular fair. Definitely bolsters Lil Kim to be able to say on here and the other members as well. It's just kind of the concept of the other Junior Mafia members. I feel like they probably would have eventually dropped albums had Biggie lasted longer as far as this pitch can happen. It was just kind of within the tone as far as saying that it felt like the two main ones. I think the main one that Biggie was trying to establish as like the next move, and basically this is the truth about it because Lil Kim dropped an album in the fall of 1996, was get Lil Kim in the door, and then after that work on Lil C's, and then from there the rest of the folks as far as this pitch can happen. It's not to say that it would have been like 2001 or 2003 before the rest of them would drop down, so it's just kind of with the pitch that this is a group type album that just was going to establish these folks and was getting in the process of pulling it off. But yeah, like I was saying, this particular song definitely needed Biggie, but still excellent. It's still an excellent type song to get. Real emphatic chorus. It's real nice and just a good spin off of like further hits just within that fair. Get Money is this is the most popular song off the album according to Spotify. This is a classic kind of 90s NY anthem. I'd have to say here, just it's like a nice secret Biggie song. I'd have to say, and buzzer definitely within the tone. Good gallivant type music to be able to have here. Just a good song to toke up to. So just the product of being hotel lobbies, hotel hallways, pitching pitch, just like that. Just the aspect of the ambience, it is some particular vibes, it is some social pizzazz about it, just kind of concept, kind of a nightclub buzzer here, just within the pitch. It's like a good 1-2 punch with big pop of some of those type ones, just not quite as emphatic in terms of like the noise behind it. It's kind of like a relative kind of marinate type song within the pitch that just is like the product of night venue type appeal, but just not the concept of like a full blown kind of smash that's going to be like the number one, number two as far as what's going to happen. But it's just the product of, I want to say this song hit like the top 15 or top 25 of the Billboard 100, so it was a big deal around that time. Definitely a good look, but just kind of like a secret kind of song that just is pretty much, I would say, just the aspect of selling the album as far as what's going to happen. This song actually did better than Player's Anthem, which that's a good song, but it was just kind of more like a promo type single, this initial kind of kickoff. But Get Money is probably the best song on the album in terms of the casual appeal, so it's just a good aspect there. But then I really do severely like I Need You Tonight. That's a real excellent type one. Had the potential to be like One More Chance, but it's just kind of concept of this, because Biggie wanted to establish other folks within the pitch. It could have been larger, but still excellent type one. I like the folks that are on that song. But to just being able to say, the only song out of the 10 songs on here I don't recommend is just Lyrical Wizardry. The only song I don't recommend in any fashion off this album is just Lyrical Wizardry. So talk about this one. This was just kind of a poor type, just city hop within the pitch behind it. Just typical kind of out and about in like the city air as far as those pairs can happen. Just basically, I would say like Get Subway type music, just the calmer stuff, but just the worst version of that. Just something that felt a little bit more stark and just kind of grimy within the aspect. It's grime, but it's just not very attractive grime within the aspect behind it. Just kind of felt beleaguered in a sense that just didn't have that appeal. That's the only real type one. Biggie is not on that song either, so it's just in the pitch didn't really have an anchor within that particular fair behind it. But every other song I recommend on here, full bounce within the pitch. There actually are there's 4 songs that Biggie are on as far as those pitches can happen. 2 of the singles, and then 2 extra songs that have him. One of which is Realms of Junior Mafia, and the other of which is Oh My Lord. So I'll talk about those. So basically, Realms of Junior Mafia is like some lyrical shredding to kind of get here, just a start kind of East Coast go ham, I'd have to say, within the pitch behind it. Definitely some crazy factor. The Mafia goes in on this particular song, just overall dope song gets. So this is definitely one to listen to, just based upon the fashion being like some lyrical snarl with an aspect behind it. It's a good aspect to be able to get here. I know at least Lil C's is on this particular song. I like these Biggie and Lil C's type team-ups. They're definitely pretty excellent. So it's just the pitch of this 4 folks going in on the song. There's an extra cat on here named Jamal. I'm not sure if he was part of Junior Mafia. He might have been, but it's just kind of supposedly like the only folk that's like a guest on this album is a cat named Jimmy Cozier, but it's within the pitch. I don't know how commonly Jamal was kind of on this particular album, so it's just within the pitch. But I do remember at least one other rapper. But this is basically like just getting like a Wu-Tang type song just within the pitch of something really stark. Feels like something that could have been like probably like it's like some good hotbox the whip type music along with Crazy as far as those pitch can happen. So that's a good type tone. Oh My Lord is a nice one as well. This is another Biggie type verse. Both these, I mean, Biggie in 95, the pitch behind it is just the fact that he was basically just gallivanting on this particular album as far as those pitch can happen. I mean, apart from like the song Get Money, which he shredded to pieces pretty well, it's just kind of the aspect that he was just kind of more in like limbo as far as those pitch can happen, just kind of enjoying the time, not really trying to make predominant type fashions, not really. I mean, it's not like, I mean, he definitely him just screwing around is the same concept of being vicious, but it's just kind of within the aspect that it's just kind of him, kind of in a more banter type aspect, more so than the full blown concentration that he had him ready to die. So it's just kind of the concept of some recreation from Biggie around that time, just a mild pitch of just seeing an extra side of him as far as this pitch can happen, despite the fact that he only had one album out. So it's just within the fair as far as saying it was some good type fair, but some of these type moments didn't really happen on Ready to Die. So when you think of like that luncheon song, like I was talking about with Player's Anthem, that's a good type one for just like some mingle. And I'd say Oh My Lord is kind of a city hop type one. Just kind of the antithesis to like songs like Give Me the Loot off of Ready to Die. It's kind of a little bit more jovial type one. But yeah, Oh My Lord is a real nice one. It's like a dope city breeze kind of get. Just some in-between kind of strut and snack runs just within the pitch behind it. Just peppy mood I'd say about here. Just enjoy the social as far as those aspects can happen. So just kind of on the day prowl pitch, just like that. Just the city fashion, just some step out just in the aspect as far as like getting goodies, checks mix, some of those type pitches, getting slice of pizza, some of those type fairs, getting Hella Swishers, box of beer, some of those type pitches, just the aspect behind it. It's kind of the pep of this like sunny kind of 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock afternoon, some of those type pitches in a city type fashion. So it's good type tone for that. Backstabbers is a real quality one. This is a Lil Kim solo song, definitely good, nice one to get here just to have like some extra Lil Kim type moments to establish her as well. It's a pretty good type tones. Another, I definitely would look for some of these Lil Kim moments as well, not to say anything. I definitely would look for some of these Lil Kim type moments as well, not to not look for the rest of these folks, but just within the fashion that she definitely had some primers to be able to say that she can handle some of these type moments in terms of just like the immediacy type factor, having like songs just not even having an album out. So I'd say Backstabber's like a drowsy kind of city evening, settle in to kind of get here. Just a good song to smoke with the bell as far as those pairs can happen. Just kind of a more personal type song, just within the pitch. Just basic kind of deep chat within this particular song is chatting pretty. Just more connect with the chica as far as those pairs can happen. It's a good song to groove to as far as those fashions kind of have. So not necessarily in like a full bound fashion to like wine and dine, but just kind of the product of just like some of those type moments. Like when you would think of a song like Warning, just the after effects of like a not waking up at 5:45, 6:45 p.m. pitch, just like that, just that night product, just kind of the product of one of those type of songs like Warning and some of those type of vibes of Warning and Big Papa, but just with like a bell nearby as far as this pitch can happen, whether you are tied down or just within the pitch, as far as saying just a good bell that's by your side within some of those type of pitches, just the product of this, the standard dredge of like makeshift kind of frustration, just in the aspect of like a personal type day that's just a little bit more ruffled within the pitch. It's just kind of the concept about that, just that city kind of sludge and grime, like the aspect of like that typical kind of frustration. So it's a good type tone, good song to smoke with. Like I was saying, good song to smoke with. Like I was saying, good song to smoke a nice L with the chica as far as this fair's gonna happen. Good type tone. This is a good aspect. This probably could have been like a pretty emphatic type song to have had like on Ready to Die. This is a real standout of a song here, just to say that. And by that I'm talking about the Backstabber song. Crazy is a nice one. It's like a floaty kind of get tore up, I'd have to say. Just some vehicle hotboxing, definitely get here. Just definite Wu-Tang kind of vibes, I'd say. Just nice posse kind of wild song, some nice posse kind of wild out type times within the pitch behind. So this is good type fare. It would have been interesting to see Biggie on this particular song, but it's a good aspect to get these folks on here as far as those aspects can happen. Lil Kim is not on the song either, but it's a good type pitch to be able to say within some of these type fares. Just these folks kind of going in with like some lyrical snarl, just being able to really smoke out, and just really be able to smoke out in a vehicle, get some pitches of getting tore up, just that standard kind of city hop ambience of like pitches like that. So it's just within the fair. White Chalk is some reminiscent type vibes of Ready to Die and a little bit of Life After Death as well between the songs, like Somebody's Gotta Die and then Warning. Is like some vintage kind of late wake up vibes that I had to say here. Like I was saying, very similar to Ready to Die's Warning song as far as those pitch can happen. Has that particular aspect. It's that same sort of schematic and good type concept for that. It's like some good kickoffs to be able to get here within those pitches. So it's this good product, basically like getting a Ready to Die type song, just with like the Junior Mafia members as opposed to being Biggie, but it's a good type fashion, just that same aesthetic, good pitch for that. And then Murder Ones is a nice one as well. Murder One's like some sleepy kind of city traffic, I'd have to say here, just basic kind of day traffic and ruminate just within the pitches behind it, just wrap up errands and get some goodies, pitches like that as far as this fair's gonna happen. So it's very similar to like Everyday Murder Ones is very similar to like Everyday Struggle, some of those type pitches, a little bit of juicy, but just not quite as peppy within the pitch behind it. Just kind of a beleaguered type one, just kind of the drowsy type fashion, probably being high as hell, probably within the same afternoon as like songs like Crazy, but just kind of the concept of maybe more solo for Dola, just in the pitch a little bit more makeshift bound. Some basic kind of NY kind of makeshift sludge as far as this pitch can happen for like 4:30, 5:30 p.m. pitches like that. So just the commerce of it, just within the particular appeal. So yeah, this album gets a 9.75. This album gets a 9.75 out of 10 as far as this pitch is gonna happen. The social score I'll probably give, I'd probably say like a 9.75 out of 10 as well. I'd give it a 10 out of 10, but I do feel like Biggie probably need to be on this album more. It has some good establishment, but apart from like maybe like Get Money, definitely, and for the ladies, I'd say I Need You Tonight, and like a mild kind of social mingle type fashion, a little bit more white collar in a sense with Players Anthem. Is this kind of the concept that the anchors about this particular album are good on here. There's some good moments, but it's just kind of the concept without really Biggie on this product. There may be some folks who fuck with this product thinking that Biggie's going to be all over it, and he really isn't, just within the fair. Lil Kim, there's just the concept behind it is not necessarily pedestrian, but it's just within the pitch as far as having like the anchor of just like big names on here, as far as like the concept of having the notoriety behind songs you're going to recognize. This doesn't happen within a full bound fashion, but I do feel like Backstabbers is a real nice one to be able to have for some of that immediacy. That feels like a Ready to Die leftover, just with Lil Kim instead. And Crazy is pretty good, hot box type song. White Chalk's like a good sequel to Warning. I Need You Tonight is like a good sequel to One More Chance Remix. Realms of Junior Mafia is very similar to Wu-Tang type fares within some of those kind of stark kind of hotbox type songs, and Biggie's on that song. Oh My Lord's like a good, city hop, just within the fashion like some City Breeze, real nice peppy one. Murder One's is kind of a good makeshift song within some of those type pitches, similar to Everyday Struggle. So it has the fashion song here. You just have to have more of like a learning curve for it within the pitch behind as far as that establishment. It's a good type song, good type tone. So 9.75 in terms of the future. like the unfortunate thing is Biggie is deceased, and most of Junior Mafia doesn't really drop as much. I mean, this is 30 years ago. This album's going to be 30, getting to like the summer, so it's just within the pitch as far as saying, but there's some good products. I want to say they might have dropped at least one other album after, obviously after Biggie's passing, but it's just within the pitch as far as saying there is some further type fair. Biggie was able to executive produce Lil Kim's album in the fall of '96 before he passed, so there is some more type fair within some of those type fashions, but this is pretty damn well virtual classic with the impact of it. This very severe type East Coast type album that just is very underappreciated and needs more recognition.